talk a little bit tonight about spirituality and with what's going on in the States, in our country at this point. If you've been watching the news at all, I'm sure you're familiar with the Occupy Wall Street movement and what's going on in our country. Basically, when you really look at it, what's happened is we have legalized corruption, really, in so many areas, and we need some pretty dramatic kinds of changes. And so we've got demonstrators, and started out in Wall Street, and now it's moved into the other major cities. It was here in Sarasota for a while. It's pretty easy when we live our spiritual life to think that we should be cloistered and not be involved in our community. And the reality is we don't need to run off to an ashram. We live our spiritual life right here where we live and where we work. And spirituality really is a democratic kind of a living, and it's our responsibility to speak out and to take part in our social circumstances wherever we find ourselves. And so I want to do my part by talking about the Occupy Wall Street movement. There are many places on the web that you can find out information. They have a website for voting on what the movement is looking to do. One of the worst things we can do when we're in problems is sit around and think about what I don't want. I don't want this, or I don't want that, because we energize the I don't want. And if we really are going to change things, we need to focus on what we do want. So one of the things that we can do is to help to suggest to those that are involved in that movement how to do it spiritually, so it has some real valid chance of actually making some changes that are valid and worthwhile. Our middle class has been decimated in the last few years. Actually, you can document the path way back from the 50s up until now, and how it's been slowly eroded. So please think about that. At least tell your friends, talk about it if you agree with what's going on down there, and let's see if we can add our voice and some spiritual solutions to that end.